Getting tired of living?
Hey, is that the weird scarecrow Lo was talking about? Looks a bit odd, but I don't see it. What was that sound? Did you call my name? Is it just me, or did you see a little girl around the corner there? Run! Something's coming after us! Do you know where we are now? Keep running. Don't let that thing catch us. Don't confront it head on. Stay away from it. Then look for opportunities to fight back. Don't stop! Keep going! I know you're the one who did all the running, but I feel like I'm out of breath myself.
I'm glad you escaped unscathed. And not only that, you managed to contain it. I don't even know how to express my gratitude. Did you discover any clues as to how this terrible deviation came to be? In my experience, every deviation seems to have its own unique past, especially the ones with powerful effects. Oh? Let me take a look. Yes, I see. It seems to be more or less as I expected, then. When a living body comes into contact with stardust, there is an almost 100% chance it will be affected. By contrast, the likelihood of an item being affected is quite small, but if it does occur, it will carry enormous amounts of energy and have quite unusual effects. This toy and its former owner were both affected by stardust. The owner's strong sense of survival was connected to the object, and after a very low probability, high-intensity transformation, that I don't know. So much about stardust and deviations remains a mystery. But I will say this. Although you speak of evil acts, you can't judge deviations on moral terms. Deviations like these have no sense of good or evil. They simply are. Luckily, you took care of it. I have to admit that keeping this deviation in a securement unit in your territory will carry some risks. Since my own facilities remain under construction, I'll entrust you with holding on to this one. I'm sure you can handle it.
you're back. Find anything at the nursing home? What is this? A nurse's diary? Oh, the handwriting is beautiful. And after all these years, it's still practically undamaged. Did she carry it on her until she died? She must have been fond of it. God, what a sad and tragic story. This nurse loved her patients so much, yet Starfall forced her to send them off like that. It must have been hard. I will. I'll keep this for myself, to remember what we were forced to go through during Starfall. What sacrifices we all had to make. Since you've been so helpful, why don't you take some mod enhancements? Just don't ask me where they came from, or expect me to hand them out every time, okay?
Ah, my favorite mayfly. I have quite the interesting bounty for you, if you're interested. But of course, our client this time is a Mr. Gene Sheckley, whose husband, Robert Wolf, was brutally murdered by a deviant while out foraging. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. There's something special about our client, Mr. Sheckley. No, nothing like that. It's simply that, while it's only been less than a week, our friend Gene still hasn't paid for the bounty. But don't you trouble yourself with that. After all, collecting fees is my job. Even if Mr. Sheckley hasn't paid yet, I'll pay you the bounty as soon as the target is disposed of. Although the bounty case file has all the information you need, feel free to chat with our friend Gene if you like. Customer satisfaction comes first, after all, even for the harsh business of enforcing justice. Mr. Sheckley lives in Tallgrass, where he has his own distillery, I believe.
I knew I could count on you, Mayfly. Thank you for not making me wait long. Yes. I can sense that. This feeling of relief. Before it's all gone, I'll tell you, I can sense the endless.
There we go. Ah, every bounty finished is an act of justice that makes the world just a little more pure. Isn't that so? And it means you've received another generous payment. Go ahead, take it. By the way, did Mr. Gene Sheckley mention he left something for you? In his place in the northwest of town. I have to say, that's quite the generous gesture on his part. Don't let his gift go to waste. Ah, my favorite mayfly. I have quite the interesting bounty for you, if you're interested. Created a maniac, if you can believe it. Sergeant Vance was trained by Rosetta as an elite sniper, and he clearly put his skills to good use. Even I was shocked when I received the report. Over 20 souls taken by this madman's gun. After investigating, I discovered that he's guilty of all charges. It's Jim Chandler, an old Union sheriff. He realized that a number of travelers were vanishing out in the wilderness. Once he started investigating, he discovered that all the victims were felled not by vulture gangs or deviants, but by bullets fired from the same sniper rifle. Once he determined the killer's identity, Sheriff Chandler found the murderer's hideout and went there alone to arrest Sergeant Vance. Alas, the arrest was unsuccessful. Old Chandler was seriously injured and withdrew to Tallgrass. While on his deathbed, he commissioned a bounty from me for the murderer.
Actually, I rather miss Jim Chandler. When he was still alive, he'd come and discuss issues of law, morality, justice, all those sorts of things with me.
Our talks really touched me and helped me improve my operations. He truly was not just a friend, but a teacher. It's a pity that the old sheriff was so honest. He had no real money left and could only leave me these batteries for the bounty. A rather low price for a killer from Rosetta, but for Sheriff Chandler, I decided to make an exception.
Come here, Mayfly. I don't have much time, but I want to ask you a question. Yes, I know. Good job taking out that scumbag, but more importantly, I want you to tell me, if you were approaching a suspect before you had all the evidence and he pulled out a gun, what would you do? Here I thought you'd follow the law to the letter, just like T-Man always preaches. Was I mistaken? Then remember, Mayfly, next time you execute a bounty, make sure you're doing it in a way that leaves that conscience of yours clear. That's all right. T-Man, my business here is finished. You can give it to...
As you wish, Sheriff Chandler. A sheriff's hat. And his position. When Sheriff Chandler issued the bounty, he had a special request. If anyone successfully fulfilled it, I'd let him interview his successor. It seems that Sheriff Chandler is quite pleased with you. So, maybe I should say, Sheriff, this hat is yours. Our mission to eradicate the evil in this world is thriving. We are bringing justice, but I doubt our client, Mr. Clay, would merit much sympathy. He was a vulture. To be more precise, the former head of a vulture gang. Quite an effective criminal, if I may say so myself. Capable of killing someone for a can of food without blinking. It's simple. His bounty meets the procedural standards of justice. Clear evidence provided, crimes committed, allegations proven. The target deviant is indeed guilty of terrible crimes. Here's the bounty case file. You can see for yourself. Mr. Clay has a clear connection to the deviant in question.
Now, I understand you may have doubts about the client's motives, but I assure you that carrying out this bounty will achieve justice in every sense. Although sometimes, of course, people may see an unusual way to benefit from filing a bounty. There is a gentleman who is a particular beneficiary of this bounty, but I can tolerate it in this case.
You son of a bitch! No! No, damn you, no! Don't devour me! I'm begging you, don't! No!
Another job well done. You truly are an exemplary partner. A better place than this stardust-infested wasteland. Rest assured, I have my very own scales of Anubis within my system. I assess the entire life of all my clients. The innocent find their paradise, while those like Mr. Clay, well, they end up somewhere far away, somewhere eternal and unexplainable, somewhere that suits them. There you go. I do so look forward to working with you again. Just the person I wanted to see. I have a very special case for you this time, a decade in the making. I said it was a special case. The target is a very powerful deviant. Even a mayfly might struggle to bring down this monster. But I have to admit, the reward this time is, well, limited. After all, the client is only a child. He doesn't have much of a budget to work with. What do you think? Fancy taking a look at the bounty and fulfilling a poor child's last wish?
I can still recall the stormy night when that child came to me, his tears mixing with the rain washing down his face.
He was mortally wounded, but all he wanted was for me to bring his family back. Unfortunately, I'm not capable of that. However, I promised to bring him justice if he was willing to pay the price. Although a little later than expected, justice will be served.
Hello. That's right, mister. My name's Peter, and I don't know what to say, but Mommy told me I should always say thank you when someone helps me. Thank you, mister. Thank you. Now...
Yes, yes. Very nice. We get the gist. Now, get out of here, Brad. And please, take this headache with you. Oh, don't you look down on me from that high horse. If you only had some idea of what my head feels like right now. I felt the reward was a bit meager, so I added some extra as a token of my thanks. I hope you find it satisfactory.